Today, scholars, our goal is I multiply decimals. So this is a review of something that we did before, and we are going to pick this back up now that we've gone over a few other things and continue forward. So when we multiply decimals, it's the same as multiplying other numbers. So we have things like 8/10 times 4. And when we multiply, you'll remember that this means 4 groups of 8/10, or 8/10 of 4. So when we do this, we simply follow our standard algorithm for multiplication and do 8 times 4. And 8 times 4 is 32, so we write down our 2 and we carry our 3. Then we do 0 times 4, because when we multiply, we start at the right and move left. So 0 times 4 is 0 plus 3 is 3. Now, I need to make sure that my answer makes sense. So if I have 4 groups of 8/10, my answer should not be 32. That number is way too big. So what we do is we find our decimal point and we figure out, oh, there's one number after. So then we need to place our decimal points. There's also one number after it. Let's do another one. Let's say we have 7/10 times 6. So again, we'd start by multiplying on the right and moving left. So 6 times 7 is 42. We're going to write down our 2 and carry our 4. Then we have 6 times 0, which is 0, plus 4. So we'd write down 4. Now again, I'm going to find my decimal point and look, and there's one number after it. So down here, I'm going to put one number after my decimal point. Now, this gets a little more complicated when you do a decimal times a decimal. So I have 8/10 times 4/10. Now, already I should be thinking, I have a decimal with one number, and then I have a second number behind a decimal. So I know now I need to move my decimal point over 2 spots. So we're going to do 8 times 4. And 8 times 4 is 32. So we write down the 2 and carry the 3. And 4 times 0 is 0 plus 3 is 3. Now, I don't need to multiply by the 0 because we just know everything times 0 is 0. But I do need to place my decimal point. And so there's a decimal, and here's one number, and a decimal, and 2 numbers. So I need to put my decimal so there are 2 numbers after my decimal point. So 4/10 times 8/10 is 32 hundredths. So when we multiplied a 10th times a 10th, we got something in the hundredths place, right? So again, it's getting smaller. Let's do another one. 4/10 times 2/10. So again, standard algorithm. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 0 is 0. Now I have 2 numbers after decimals. So I need to put my decimal point so I have 2 numbers after it. So 2/10 times 4/10 is 8 hundredths. You'll also have hundredths times tenths or other hundredths. So again, 8 times 4, 32, write down the 2, carry the 3. 2 times 8, 16 plus 3, 19. 0 times 8, 0 plus 1 is 1. And now finding, I have 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal point. So 1, 2, 3, and put your decimal point down. So now I have that 24 hundredths times 8 hundredths is 192 thousandths. So I did tenths times hundredths and got thousandths. So this is what we will do today. We will be practicing this. Please show your work. Remember, when we do things, I need to see your work. I don't care if the answer is right if there's no work there. So please show your work when you do your work. Thank you.